Yes.
There you are. Oh my God.
Yes. Hi.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. And Patri, thank you, honey. And Jerry, honey, thank you for hanging in. And all
Oh
of
my God.
you.
Well, this is absolute honor, and I guess I'll tell you a little bit about our little group here. We've been doing this for a little bit more than a year. It's called The Work Runs Free, and we meet weekly, as you know, on Sundays, as I told you, and we do a combination of things. We will start out where there's a chant going, and then we have a little audio of you with a guided meditation, which we actually listen to while we're waiting.
Oh,
And then, yeah, and then after the meditation, we'll do a little bit of work share, which is this idea that I just had recently about working on our own and sharing like the highlights of what we find.
oh, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
You know why I love that so much, Jerry, that you would do that is that it, if in my experience to share it like that, it it brings to mind more powerfully the original experience and it deepens. And
Yeah.
it's so lovely.
Yeah.
And
It,
all for
it
that.
Yeah, it even got me thinking, like, I'm always, the ideas are always popping in, um, whether or not it would be a great thing to have a work shared database where people just in the work, they just go on there, share the work they found with a particular thought, and anybody who gets stuck can go on that database. This is one of my little ideas I thought I'd share with you. And
Wow, honey, that just sounds so powerful and such a great opportunity. Sharing
mm,
is, I, I don't know, but it is our heart's desire. It's communication, and to be able to express and share profound experiences that we have these internal experiences with each other. I
mm,
think it strengthens the rest of us because we we get it. We get
yeah.
it. Strengthens what we have, and it's a beautiful circle.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we're about. And we do have questions. Um, and I figured we could just maybe dive right into this. I know your time is fairly brief here. And so um, I figured I'd ask this first one that somebody sent. And it is as follows. If past and future don't exist, by the way, this is from Carolina. If
Mhm.
past and future don't exist, because they are constructs of our imagination, how does space not exist either?
Well, space has to be imagined like anything else. It's the it's. But I'd like to say something that comes to me as you were um, giving me the question, like past and future don't exist, and we can hear that like I had dinner with Stephen this evening. Okay, so in Earth, we don't say, well, I'm in denial or I'm asleep. It's more like I had dinner with Stephen this evening, and I can see in my mind's eye, like you all probably did when I said I had dinner with Stephen, whether you've met Stephen or not, saw me having dinner in your mind's eye in your own way. So that's what I mean by, that is not something that is not a Stephen and a Byron Katie you can take out of your head and show us. It is the way you imagined it. Those of you that haven't met Stephen, some of you have him with bald, he's bald. Some of you have him tall, short, fat, thin. You all have your own Stephen, though you, let's say, have never met him yet. And it's a kind of a blur, but that's what I mean by there's no past or future. in our heads, it seems so real because that's where the world appears to us. That's how the world appears to be. But I cannot take that Stephen and that Byron Katie, I can't touch it and show that to you. Even if I did, we would still have, if there's a 1,000 of you out there, we'd still have 1,000 different Stephens and 1,000 different Byron Katies. So it would be like the way you imagine me at dinner is pure ego. And I don't hear ego as a word that brings up something painful. It is something that is something attempting to create an entire world and identification that deserves a little respect, a lot
Yeah.
of respect. So I had dinner with Stephen tonight. Where's my proof? I can't take it out of my head and show you. I can bring Stephen in here and say, Stephen, prove it. Tell him we did. Tell him it's the truth. But he's still coming from the same source.
Yeah.
Fake news. Now, that's not something that I deny is happening. I'm just very clear about, I had dinner with Stephen and working with you, Jerry. And each of us doing our individual work. It is so good to see this. We don't have to deny it, but in our minds, doing this work, and a silent question mark. It's like, I had dinner with Stephen tonight, but here's what it feels like inside of me. I had dinner with Stephen tonight.
Mm.
And it feels like that, even though it's spoken, or I had dinner with Stephen tonight, like it's fact. When I'm saying it, there's that question mark. And that's what you get from this practice. It's like, this is a beautiful world. It feels like it's a beautiful world. This is, what's it called, Jerry? It's, oh gosh, what did Socrates, an
unexamined life.
An unexamined life, it's not worth living. Yeah. So this is an examined, ongoing life. And it wakes me up where someone says, oh, the world is ending. The world's in terrible shape. I'm hearing the world is ending. The world's in terrible shape. This is what I think the Buddhists refer to as the don't know mind. So it's living that life of inquiry.
It's funny, when you were talking, I was just sharing with everybody how I saw an image of us rescheduling this tonight, and I was like, gotcha. Okay, so
that is a good one, sweetie.
all right, so I'm just gonna ask a couple other questions. We have one from Eliza, and it is as follows. If I am in a space of accepting what is, and I need to look for a job, and I feel frozen around it, do I keep pushing myself into action, or just wait until something comes to me?
Both. Why not? I need to look for a job. Playing off of what we were just looking at, I need to look for a job. Is it true? And yeah, I'm about to lose my, I need to pay this month's rent. But it's nothing I have to do. I can lose it. And then I can lose and lose and lose and lose. Or I can look for a job and win or lose, win or lose, win or lose. But I'm for Jerry, and self-inquiry. When we're free, There's no winning or losing. We're unlimited as to where we look for a job. There's nothing to stop us. There is no ego to stop us. And we get that job, we can get 2, we can get 3, but we're free. When we're free, we're free. But what stops? I need to get a job. Really? I don't see me moving. I don't see my feet moving.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I don't have the right clothes, or I'm too fat, I'm too thin, or they won't like me, or I'm unqualified. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Yeah, you know, sitting in that, how can you move? That's frozen. So, you know, freedom is, I need to look for a job. I walk out, I see someone threw a can out of the car. I pick it up. I've got a job. I pick it up. I just keep walking. I find a place to recycle or trash can, whatever is there, or I put it in my pack and recycle when I get home. I've got a job. Do the dishes. Do the dishes. I've got a job. Take out the trash. I've got a job. And if I need money, you know, with if I'm not frozen, if I'm not in fear, I'll find it. And I don't care what it is, you know. I mean, not that I don't care, like I don't care. It's not like that. It's just I need a job, I get a job. And then I've got a job until I can find one that suits me. Um,
Sounds like always honoring where you are in the moment.
oh, honey, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And where am I in the moment? You know, am I am I living out? I can't say to myself, I need a job if I don't believe it. My ego's gonna just have a really good time with that one. I'll do it later. Well, not so much. Well, I'll borrow from my family. You know, it's
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, we do have another one. So, Adrian asks, if thoughts are neutral, not good or bad, when or how does a neutral thought become stressful?
well, you know, this thing I talk about, this immovable thing in us. It's wisdom. And ask the question again.
Okay, yeah. Hang on. If thoughts are neutral, not good or bad.
They're not neutral. Some go against our heart, our nature, and we feel guilt. And so guilt is like this temple bell I talk about that emotionally remind us that we're out of what we ourselves feel is right and wrong. It's up to us. Like if I say or do something that's hurtful, I can't get away with it. You know, it's guilt happens, but we're asleep to that. So the ego jumps in and justifies what we say and do. But it's like digging our own spiritual grave.
Okay, thank you. Let me see, who else do I have here? I did Adrian, Elisa.
I'm gonna say, you got me, babe. Who I have here.
I got you, babe.
Yeah, I got you, babe.
Okay, there's another one from Tripti. When we want to make amends after doing the work, how do we know it is the right time to do so without having a motive? What ways can we make amends? So it's kind of 2 questions.
Gosh, making amends is it's about identifying what I said or did that wasn't right with me, admitting it. If you know, if it's directed to someone, for example, then I said something that was hurtful, and it, I need to admit it, what it was, you know, name it what it was, and apologize for it when I'm ready. But it can't be faked, or it's not good enough for me. It's not really apologizing. It's just getting along in the world. But I want more. So it's soulful. It's soulful. And I say that because anything less than that, it's how we keep identities as I'm a fake.
Mm, yeah. Thanks for that also. And
The courage to, boy, we're just talking about, how to just, oh my God, yeah, identity.
okay, so from Lisa asked, it's Lisa, I guess. What are your thoughts about revenge?
It's an egoic play. It's a fight to hold one's identity. It's the being in the grasp of the ego, because nothing is going, no kind of revenge is going to do anything but double up, quadruple up on fear, which is what fear is. Let's say you do something that I feel like he hurt my reputation, and now I'm going to get online and do something really, really clever where I look like the good person and you're the person that is, oh my gosh, it, we talk about mindful, that's mindful of revenge. And it's, it's,
Yeah.
it's just a fight for one's own identity. If I'm right, you're wrong. I'm wiser, you're less wise. I'm more, you're less, basically. And that can never be. That can never be. If anything, we've got it backwards. If you're more than I am, I've got a teacher. If the whole world, better meaning wiser, um, kind, we can look for kindness, and we can look for people who we experience are unkind. And these are all our teachers. They show us how to be, how not to be. This human race, I consider myself the only unenlightened person in my world. And so I live in this world of teachers, and they live in me. Every human being, cat, dog, and tree, dog and mouse, it's, my teacher, they live in me.
Beautiful stuff. So
The
I
world is
wanted,
the world is in you. I mean, the world is as you believe it to be. And if you have a problem in your world, identify what you're thinking about your world, the people in it, and question it. It's I can't. I'm responsible for world peace, the peace in me, and I can't affect the change in your world. That's yours. So this is the best news. Is we all have the power to bring about world peace.
yeah, yeah. It came to me one time, I think it was after a school for the work, this little phrase of realize global peace inside. And I have it on my little Skype thing, and it's like a little reminder to me.
Yeah,
Need a few of those.
yeah.
So I'd like to open it up to questions that I'm not going to be reading and that our participants will just ask you directly. I don't see any hands up, but that doesn't mean there aren't hands up. So Helios or M, do you see hands up for questions?
Yeah, guys, if you'd just like to raise your hand if you've got a question. Yeah, there's Mina over here with her hand straight up.
Good.
How about that, Jerry?
Perfect.
Hey, Mina.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
I have a question about a writing project. I have a lack of trust that if I don't keep in mind all the moving parts, the edits, even just when I'm looking at one document, that I'll forget, and it feels irresponsible to be that present with my work. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yes, don't be present with it. Just let it flow. And then you can always go back and see what you can adjust, having to do with time or idea. Yeah, just let it flow. You can always go back and see what you've got and be more mindful.
And what about, like, it overwhelms me when I have all the thoughts about my work, and I procrastinate a lot. Maybe you already answered it.
You know, procrastination is it's it's ego saying, I'll do it later, or it's not that important, or no one really cares anyway, and I'll do it tomorrow. Um, and then guilt comes in, and just it's just a life of a life. So here's the solution for that I would just sit down and with a worksheet in front of me and a pen and paper, and not computer, just to sit down with yourself and start filling in a worksheet, not on yourself, but see what comes up, and doing the work. It it's it brings about who knows. Anyway, that would be my solution, honey, to do, what to do with your time when your artistic flow isn't moving in a way that if it's moving in a way you're having trouble with.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Just sit down, put your hands on the keyboard if you're on a computer and you're writing, and just wait and let something show you what to write, and don't judge it, just see what you come out with. It's like it replaces the experience of procrastination. If you're a writer, you're right in there with the rest of them, even
Thank
yeah.
Okay, I think we also had a question from Julianne. Julianne, do you want to ask your question? Beautiful,
Hi.
there you are.
Hi.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Do you mean a question I sent to Helios earlier?
Yes.
Okay, well, did I send a question earlier? That's a good one. Okay, because I'll just have to make up. I was, in my imagination, I was walking in the sunshine at the time that I was making it up and writing it to him. And I was asking my friend if he had a question. He knows nothing about the work. And I said, if you could ask somebody, I told him about the beginning of your story, Katie, where a consciousness just came into a body. I've tried to paraphrase how I imagined it. I say it different every time I try to tell someone, but anyway, I tried to explain to him, and and I said, so like, if you could ask somebody a question like that, what would it be? And for him, he was asking about space and aliens and that kind of thing. And anyway, I kind of went to a place of like, let me see if I got it right, Helios.
I was thinking if he wants to meet an alien, just advise him to look in the mirror.
We have had that discussion, he and I. That's right, because I think that there's a chance. I imagine that if I'm anything, I'm come from some some ethereal place, if anything. Like, yeah. Anyway, what was it? Do you have it written down?
I have it.
Okay.
It is, do you think in a place where we are never born and never die, that there is some kind of consciousness or awareness?
Where we all meet is the part that, like, where anything from any other planet or anything at all, do we all meet where we were never born and we never die? Is there consciousness?
Actually, beyond an I or a we. That's those are self-identification, I, we. So it's beyond that, sweetheart. It's beyond any kind of a separation. Consciousness it's an undivided experience, and I would question there's consciousness.
What, you would question that there's consciousness at all, like awareness?
Mhm.
Can you tell me more about that, please?
Well, it's you know, I'll leave it to you.
Okay, okay.
Beautiful.
I mean, I think you're alluding to that every thought that I have, is body identification.
Sweetheart, let's say I'm, and this is out of my own experience. Let's say I'm in space. There's no light there. There's no I there. And let's say I'm consciousness. That's all there is. I'm talking out of the past to even think the thought. That's all there is.
Mm.
That is, I know mind, so it drops and.
Oh, I think I get it. Like there's no thoughts when the imagined past, the imagined future, if you don't have that, okay, just, I have to say you because I don't have other language, but without a past or future imagined thought, then it's just spaciousness without thought at all. Ish.
Yeah, anytime it's named, it's after the fact, and that's no expression. It doesn't do justice for what you're asking about or pointing to.
Yeah, it's my ego or fear of death that would even be asking that or thinking about, like there's just,
Even if it's just pure wisdom asking a question out of itself, you can't rest in the question. You rest in source.
Mhm.
But sweetheart, it's not in that situation, that bodiless situation.
Mhm.
That's not bad. That's consciousness. They're not separate. They're not two things.
Okay. A little bit of me understands, but I feel relief, like just go with it. Whatever I know, all I am is attached to a body and to the story of life that I see. So there's nothing to fear, but fear itself, Winston Churchill.
That's what I love about self-inquiry on paper.
Mhm.
Anything that would stop your journey, move to paper
Mhm.
and like open that space and get still again. This journey is you know, you're obviously in.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing. Thank you, honey. I think that your question is very helpful.
Very. Thanks, Julianne. Could we get Gia to ask her question?
Hi, Jen.
Gia.
Gia. Hi, Gia. Look how quickly you shifted identification.
I think she's still working on getting her sound.
Oh,
Um, Okay. Do we have ignition? I don't think so. Can we get her unmuted, Helios or
yeah.
Em?
Hello,
Hello.
hello, Katie. I'm Gia. I'm
Hi, Gia.
all my love from India.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll take it.
Katie, I want to know, like, when you are going through some suffering, of course, it's with depression and anxiety in my case. how do you see healing? Like, what is healing? What is, how do you know that you're healed, or what is healing?
Could you ask the question again? How do I know if I'm not
And
if I'm not feeling well? How do I know I'm healing?
yeah, what is the definition of healing? What, when do you know that you're healed or you're healing, or how
He-
is that?
Healing is a state of mind. Let's say if this is maybe a little too radical, but let's say I lost an arm, and 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 the pain is in remembering the arm. Like I let's say I just impulsively start to pick something up, and there's no arm to pick something up. Let's say it's from the elbow down, and just spontaneously I see something and I just spontaneously reach to pick it up, but it's just impulsive and there's no arm there to pick that object up. Now, the remembering of the arm is where all of the agony comes in. It's in the remembering. So what happens is we miss an opportunity to live differently, at least as gifted as we were. An incredible opportunity if self-inquiry is alive in you. There's just no downside. And I'm not guessing, you know, I have a lot of experience in this, physical experiences. And oh my goodness, I am so in. It just keeps getting better. You know, I lost my eyesight, and it was an eye disease, and I had the thought I'd never be able to see my grandchildren grow up. They were just babies, and the laughter that came out of me, because at the same time I was thinking I'll never see my grandbabies grow up, I saw them grown up in my mind's eye. And it's not them, but even if it were them and I'm remembering them, it's not them. So I can't lose anyone. No one can die to me. You know, what would I grieve? And it is so, you know, the short version is, it's like, no one can leave me. They don't have that power. And nothing can leave me. It doesn't have that power. Not my youth, not my health. And my friends, the same. And the short version of that is the world is a state of mind. And I don't try to concoct something in my head to make it work. It's available, it's shown. And I don't know, it's like my words are not wise. They're just, it just is that way. There's no mystery here. And no one holds more wisdom than another. You know, I was in the hospital, and my heart started shutting down, and my liver started shutting down, and my lungs started shutting down. And you know, a room was full of doctors and nurses, and I was the only person without worry in the room. I just saw a bunch of people really, really concerned about another human being. You know, those of you that are new to inquiry, it's a practice. And I'm all about one thing, the end of suffering, not enlightenment, but the end of suffering. That's the deal. That's the deal. And that's not something anyone can give to us, but it's something that we can discover sitting in self-inquiry.
Mm-mm.
Thank you so much, Katie.
It's a joy to meet you. Thank you for the question.
Thanks, Gia. I believe, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. It's Facu, Faku. I believe he's new to the work. If I'm wrong about how to pronounce your name, or if you're new to the work, just let us know.
Yes, yes. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm well.
Um,
Thank you.
yes, I'm very new to the work. Like 2 months or 1 month. Yeah,
Oh, welcome to self-inquiry.
thanks. My question is like, when I do, for example, the question 4, like, who will you be without the story? I get nervous and I don't get an answer, or maybe the first question, and I just keep asking the question, but I don't get answers or insight.
Okay, let's see, a man is holding a gun to my head, okay? And he says he's going to pull the trigger and kill me, okay? And who would I be without the thought he's going to kill me? Which means, who would I be without the thought that's causing the fear, which he's going to pull the trigger and kill me, or I'm not going to die and I'm going to suffer, and there's no one here to help me, and I'm going to die alone, and then I'm the fear of death and all that's going on. Who would I be without my story standing with that man who says he's going to kill me? Who would I be? Who would I be? You know, in my experience, I had a similar situation happen to me like that. And in my experience without my story, I saw a very frightened man. And I had the thought, I hope he doesn't do that to himself when he said he was going to kill me. And who would I be without my story? It's like I got rid of all the junk going on in my head, junk meaning the cause of my suffering. It's space junk, it's not even real. And junk doesn't, you know, that term sounds disrespectful, but I have a great respect for the ego, even though it's nothing. It's imagination, which is everything in Earth School. But who would I be without the thought he's going to kill me? You know, I would be looking up at the sky. I'd see this frightened man. I'd look up at the sky and the clouds, and I would see in that situation this beautiful world and a very frightened man. And if he pulled the trigger and it killed me, how would I know? So the fear of life is what's going on, not the fear of death. And I invite you all to test that. So you understand question 4?
Yes, yes, yes.
My mother walks in the room and she says, you did it wrong. You don't. Who would I be without my story? Seeing a very troubled woman. Like, who would I be without the story? I'm a disappointment to her. She doesn't love me. There's something wrong with me. Like, drop all of that. you know, it's how you react when you believe the thought. Drop all of that.
Yes.
Very troubled woman. But you know,
Yes.
the practice, it's for me, there's no shortcuts. I have a very open mind to any shortcut that might happen. I've got you know, inquiry. It's I highly recommend it.
Thanks, Katy.
You're welcome.
Okay. Vanessa has a question. And hopefully we'll hear it.
Hi, Kate. Much love to you and to everybody here from Mexico,
Ah,
from Yucatan, near the pyramids. Here's my question. When I am doing the turnarounds of the work, I have splendid moments of peace and fullness. Once the worksheet is over, though, I fear those precious moments will vanish. Like Cinderella and her carriage turned pumpkins, I am afraid to go back to my life again. Reason tells me that life is a huge playground filled with opportunities for joy. And if not, then there's worksheets. How do you turn that fear into excitement for life?
That life is like Earth School. I often refer to it as Earth School, but that's what life is. It's you know, let's just say you're here to wake up to reality. And so it's life, you're in this space where life is beautiful. Well, the next lesson comes in, you put it on paper. It's simply unfinished business. And you don't have to do the work, but until you do, chances are it's going to recur in many different disguises, but basically the same thing. And you know, there's some popular ones like no one cares about me, there's something wrong with me, people don't understand me, and then the physical health attacks, ego attacks, and around the body. But on Earth School, so when you're in that space where you are free and having a wonderful life, just enjoy it and wait for the next lesson.
Is it always the same? You like you say, it's right. It's always, I feel like it's always the same worksheet over and over again that I'm doing.
Then get find a certified facilitator and have them take you through a whole worksheet, and it could be something you're missing or some kind of shortcut you don't even know you're experiencing. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know someone.
Okay. Excellent.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Very good. Katie, something occurred to me, a question that's, it's something I've meant to ask you since like a few years ago. Back in 2015, I remember it was mentioned at the school in the fall. I think, I don't know if you proposed it or if somebody else proposed this idea about an online school. And I never heard anything about it. And I was wondering if that idea is shelved or if it's still in development or what's going on.
It's something I'm still very interested in. And then, you know, I started the that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. event.
Mhm.
And that went so well. It was 5 days a week, and then we went to 3.
Right.
And that went so well, you know, the last 3 years since the COVID thing. And so we've been really tuned into that, and it's been really an incredible ride. And so much of the school was picked up there, but there is only one school for the work. So if you have any ideas, Jerry, let's get together and
Okay.
and look at it. Yeah, I'd love an online school for the work.
Yeah, it sounds like a really intriguing idea, having been to a couple, 3 schools so far. So Joan, did you want to ask Katie a question?
Hi, Joan.
Hi, Katie. You know, I've heard you say this so many times that I'm the only unenlightened person in the world. And can you tell me what that means? Because obviously I don't see it that way.
Well, the world is in me. In other words, the world is as I see it and believe it to be. So the way I see you, who I believe you to be, who I see you to be, is mine. That's so you belong to me. Now, let's say there are 100 people sitting in on this, our time together. So, and let's say we're all looking at you, and the way we perceive you, there would be 100 yous. We each have our own you.
Yeah.
So the way you see people in the world is who they are in your world.
Right.
But let's say I know that person too, but we have the same friend. But the way I see that person is now we have 2 of her, yours and mine. So she lives in you and she lives in me, but they're not the same person.
Mm.
So all of you listening to this, you know, there's let's say there are 100 Byron Katies in this, in we're witnessing 100 Byron Katies, for example, and we're all responsible for that. And here's why I say that is, if you don't love me, I could be anyone. Let's say I'm male, female, old, it doesn't matter. The way you see me is what you get. And if you don't feel connected, then if you want to connect, just judge me on paper, question what you're believing until you do.
Mm.
And this is everyone in your neighborhood, the people living next door, the people you see on television, the fictitious characters on wherever. And because no one if there's something out of order in my world, I look to myself. And that's I live in a orderly world that looks very chaotic to others maybe, but I see an orderly world. You know, this Earth School I've pointed to a couple of times in our time together. This Earth School, you know, I'm in. I'm a student. Yeah, I'm a student. I don't think I answered that as well as you all deserve.
I understand what you're saying for me, for sure, and for in theory, but I just didn't ever understand how you felt it about you, because you are so clear, and I can't imagine you having a problem.
In my world, there's nothing out of order.
Yeah.
And that just ended in a question mark.
Yeah.
My mind is so open, I'm in.
Right.
It's like, I'm so enlightened, I think. I know the difference between what hurts and what doesn't. And that's really all I need to know now that I know what to do with what hurts.
Right. Thank you, Katie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving right along, Matt is from Sweden, is that? He's in the middle of the night over there, so he's very dedicated.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Matt.
So it's 3:46 a.m. right now.
Ah,
Yeah, in the a.m. Yeah. Okay. So it's lovely to connect with you online like this. I have known about you for a few years. So I am. When I got in contact to your way of seeing things, I couldn't help but compare with other things. So now comes I would love to hear you doing that. So I could see the same thing in the Lord's Prayer as in your work. And in particular, where it's easiest to see what I mean with this is on the line. I will refresh our memories now reading it. The line that says, oh, where is it now? Oh, now I lost it, of course. But you know the line better than me, the one about forgiveness, or forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. In that, I see the same thing as your work. And I would love to hear your reflections on this.
Forgiveness for me is seeing that what I thought happened didn't happen in the way I understood it to happen. So if in my world there's nothing to forgive, and I can say this, if I believed what that person believed, how could I not do the same as the, let's say, sin he committed? Let's say he murdered someone. And I think, how dare he's this, he's that. And I feel fear, it could be me next and all of that. But truly, if I believed what he believed, how could I not? And that's what makes self-inquiry such a blessing, is we're dealing with the cause of violence, the cause of fear. And each time we do self-inquiry, we come out as more enlightened, more awake, kinder human beings. You know, if someone says, I hate you, Byron Katie, well, how could they not? If I believed about me what they believed about me, how could I not hate me? But I can't control what another person is thinking, believing about me. That's something that none of us control. And the ego's job is to make sure that people see us in the best light, and the identity it concocts to that it thinks is going to be the safest. And so I hope that I hope that met your question.
Yeah, so to me, it still seems to be the same thing, working somehow, expressed very differently, of course.
Yeah, well, give them, Father, they know not what they do. That's exactly it, isn't it, as I think about it?
Mm. And if I may add a little, another from this prayer is, hallowed be thy name. And then I realized I don't know which name is referred to here. So I started to, and what happened with me was that every name is God's name. And to hallow the name is to cleanse it from the stories. And then it becomes the work, the way it looks to me. And again, it would be really wonderful to hear your reflections on this.
Oh, I just agree with you. Same.
Mm,
Yeah.
wonderful. Now I have your authority on that.
Well, you know, it sure is. It sure meets the way I experience it as you bring it up. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Matt. Looks like we have one more. Tripti has her hand up. And there she is. Okay.
Hi, Tripti.
Oh, we need to unmute. There we go.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
I'm as well as I can possibly be, and I love that you are too.
Yes, it's so lovely to see you. I had a quick question. Jerry already asked the first question. Thank you for letting me ask the question about the School for the Work in March. I think it's coming up, and unfortunately, what happened is I went to sign on today, and I noticed that it's sold out. So I went ahead and got on the wait list with the deposit. I already bought plane tickets 2 weeks ago.
My goodness, I hope you put that in a note to customer care.
Yeah, I did email them saying, so anyways, I was just wondering, like, is there a chance for me to be able to get in? Or I guess customer care will let me know, right? So
Yeah, and there is a chance, honey. There's, because we don't know. It's still on. This is March. It's still March, right? And
yeah, it's this is February, close to February. I think it's March 10th to the 19th.
Yeah. All I know is in this world, honey, there's a chance. That's for sure. And Jerry, and that's good company too. So, yeah.
Yes, I hope it works out. But thank you so much for all your lovely work. I've been doing the work for 1.5 years, and it's been unbelievable. Helios actually facilitates me, and it's just been unbelievable.
You're in your school. If you're doing that, you're in your school. Okay, sweetie.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if we've come to the end, but it certainly looks that way.
Okay, so Jerry, thank you, honey, for the invitation to hang out with you and your wonderful crew and dear.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure, and it's going to be a night to remember for a while. We'll probably be talking about you when you leave.
Well, I certainly have enjoyed the invitation and being with all of you. And thanks again, Jerry. It's good
Thank
work.
you. It was great that we overcome our glitch of getting started.
Yeah,
But we did it.
you did, sweetie. Yeah, we
Okay.
did. Bye, dears.
Thank you very much. Thanks everybody for coming. And we'll hang out afterwards.